Hi folks, this is a wee variation of an Invicta that I've been using, and one of my friends asked to see the tan of it. So in the hook there I've got a B175, which is a great hook with never any problems and never any defects. Great hook for everywhere. On the hook there I've already put a wee foundation of Semperfli brown thread. And then on here, this is Glow Bright number 10, and I'm just doing a smooth underbody. I'm anti-clockwise spinning the Glow Bright so that I get a nice flat floss-like appearance, and I'm doing a little tag at the back around the bend, and then a small bit of, very small amount of varnish, and we're going to then cover this tag with the pearl. And again, my setup here whenever I'm using the camera is a little bit tricky. Don't cut this off and leave it on the far side of the hook. And then I'm going to get some fine fine silver. This fly is quite flashy, so you don't need to worry about using any of your fancy oval or anything like that. And again, I'm tying this on the far side of the hook, full body length. And again, just anti-clockwise spin your floss to keep it nice and flat, avoiding the hook point. So I'm now going to tie in a golden pheasant topping, which is, I suppose, a nod to the original fly. And I'm gonna then actually, because I'm tying with this slightly weaker material, just going to spin it clockwise to give me a thread-like profile, and then stick that in and just get it curving up nicely. And snip that off again, full body length. And of course now we're going to go the opposite way and flatten the thread again. And we can now form a nice underbody. Now if you wanted to leave this yellow, which is sort of Invicta colour, that would be fine, but on this body here I'm now going to finish the yellow, because again that floss is a little bit weaker, and I'm going to reattach the brown again. Because of the way I finish this fly, you'll see how much room I've left myself at the eye. It's actually quite a lot. So on the body of this fly I'm putting on I suppose you'd call it honey. Not too dark a hackle, nice light sort of cinnamon sage stroke green petery type colour hackle. So at the back here, just a wee reminder, we've got wire and pearl, and of course I forgot to bring the pearl up, so just 1 second. I don't usually worry about the varnish on this section because the wire and the hackle are going to be over it, so it already has a bit of protection from a fish's tooth. It's always a little bit more awkward to tie with the camera in the way. So we're going to make a couple of 3 turns at the front. Just excuse me while I adjust this backing board. A little bit too close to me. And then once I get onto the body, I actually come down pretty quickly. They're about 2mm spacing, and then hopefully we'll get away with this. Yeah. Again, with fly tan, if it doesn't turn out right, you can just stop and go back. But even though my hackle pliers dropped that hackle, I've saved it. If it wasn't secure, I would have put a new one on or rewound it. So when you get to the front here, cross your wire and then put a bend in it. And notorious weak point, so I wind forward on the wire. So the wire is held in there by about 2mm. And this here will just break off. Fine. So you'll see now we've got quite a lot of space there for a wing. So I'll try and show you this at the back of the camera. So on this is a hen pheasant wing. So you've got your primary feathers, which would be the ones the bird would fly with, and then at the back here you've got your secondaries. So I'm going to take out a pair of those. So again, I'm going to try and show what I'm going to do on camera, but I'll have to do it off. So I'm going to take where it's broadish, because doing a smaller fly, but where it's broadish you want to take like little sections like this. Okay, so we're looking 2 of those from each side, and then just lay them all down on your table, face side or best coloured side down. Sorry, there's just no way I could show this from the camera. So now what I've got here is 4 hen pheasant slips, and I'm going to put these on. They're obviously flat at the moment, so I'm going to set them on here and then do a pinch and loop and make them into a V, which gives me probably the nicest wing profile I can manage anyway. So again, we're doing pinch and loop here. I like to get at least 3 of those in, and then wind forward a little bit, holding to the wing very, very securely, and that gives you a nice, if I can tilt that round, that gives you a nice wing profile. When you're cutting the stubs off, sometimes the wing would like to move, so I put the scissors on as close to my thread as I can and hold the wing while I cut them, and then bind those butts down. Okay, so that's my wing finished. Now this is where things get a little bit different for me, and you'll hear a lot of the jingler flies, grunter flies, all those sort of what people think is a new fly, but I have an old box of flies that was given to me. They could be Rogans, it might not be, but a lot of the very, very old mayflies and sages I have got partridge in them. So we're tying in a little bit of partridge there, and then at the same time we're going to put in another, if I can find it, another one of these honey hackles. Let's just tie that in securely, and then quite aggressively I'm going to bring the partridge to the front. You can do this just by tying in a wee bunch at the eye and bringing them back, but I sort of do it this way because from the flies that I have from this sort of box that I keep referring to, that seems to be the way they did it. So that looks rough as crazy, but that's pretty much exactly what I'm after. And then I wind back through it to sort of tighten it all up, and then this front hackle, bring that forward through to the eye, and then I wind through that to make my flies last longer, and it definitely works, especially with saddles because the stock on them is quite fine. I don't even trim it at this stage, and then I pull this back and form a head. So we've got a little head there, and then whip finish. Again with good thread, one whip finish is enough, but you can stick another one on. I can really recommend this Semperfli thread. It's just brilliant stuff. And then tweak out your little hackle. So that's a great sage representation. Nice and shiny, so it's got old tying techniques, old techniques with the wing, but yet the body is super sparkly. And if I just turn out my lights here a wee second and put on my black light there, you can see what the UV underbody is doing to the fly, and it really pops in the water. So it's verging on green petery style. I really like this fly. It's been a firm favourite of mine for years. So don't know, I just call it Invicta variant, but to me it's very, very nice looking fly. Hope you enjoyed that.